In San Diego, we import about 89% of our water. It's estimated in the state, and California Energy Commission is the agency that came out with these estimates, that 19% of all of California's energy usage is related to the treatment and movement of water. I think we're unfortunately doing things really the wrong way in San Diego, which is, if you were doing things the right way, you would, first of all, you would develop a framework for how you develop your water supply policy, and you would develop criteria for how you evaluate, specific projects or specific policies, and that criteria might say, what's the cheapest, or what's the most energy efficient, or what's the most environmentally friendly, or what's the most reliable, or what's the most, what's the safest. I mean, there's all sorts of criteria, and then based on that criteria, you would evaluate, all your different options, and then you would develop a strategy, and then you would develop an implementation plan. I mean, sort of basics.
You don't think the San Diego County Water Authority is doing
Oh, God, no. God, no.
So you're
not even close.
So
they basically look at any water as good water, and more fundamentally, they'll show you a pie chart, and they'll say, oh, well, we used to be, we used to be 90% water, dependent on imported water, and now we have a goal, and they'll show a pie chart where, it's down to 50% imported water, and it'll be, 15% desal, and 10% conservation, and 5% water reclamation. You go, well, how did you arrive at that? Do you have desal more than water reclamation because it's cheaper, because it's more energy efficient, because it's more environmentally friendly, because it's more reliable? Because it's actually none of those things. It's actually way more expensive and way more damaging and way more energy intensive, and I can get into that. They came up with it because it was easy for them, but they never actually developed a framework. They have things that they say are frameworks, but they're not. One desal plant isn't diversifying, and it's not diversifying smartly. And the analogy is one investment is, you diversify your investments to spread sort of risk and reward. So you don't want all your money in high risk. Generally what happens is your high yield stocks are also your high risk, and your low risk are low yield. And you don't want all your money in your high risk because you could end up in the poorhouse, and you don't want all your money in your low yield because you'll never make anything, and so you sort of balance it out. Well, if you had an investment strategy that was low risk and high yield and socially responsible, and you felt really good about it, and somebody came along and said, look, I want you to diversify, and I want you to put a lot of your money into high risk, low yield, socially irresponsible stocks, you'd fire your investment advisor. That's not diversification, that's just stupidity. You don't diversify your portfolio to bad investments. That's not diversification, that's just wasting money. And that's what we're doing as water policy. We're wasting good policy. We're wasting water because we're, diversifying to the most expensive, damaging, energy-sucking, water privatizing option out there. And without really ranking that against what are much, much better alternatives across every conceivable way that you would evaluate them.